Fuel your body with Complete Multivitamin, the perfect balance of essential nutrients for daily health and wellness. Carefully formulated from natural ingredients, our multivitamin packs vitamins A, C, D, E, plus key minerals like zinc and magnesium to support your immune system and boost energy. Just 1 tablet a day is all you need. Take it with water and feel the difference as prescribed by your healthcare provider. Stay active, stay strong, stay ready with Complete Multivitamin, your daily dose of vitality. Complete Multivitamin, simple, powerful nutrition. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition store.
I love Christmas.
Nakuja kusema amefanya tuliona tukachorea. Mimi napenda money conversation, nisikia pesa pia huongea. Mimi nikipata na dishi na mbogi nkorada maisha nipata potea. Muzika hapa chakuwa rahisi imekuwa ni blanda na kujitolea. Mkoro wali ni hala kanisho nizidi chachisha wananiombea. Mimi sijali na vile vitu watu wanasema watazidi ongea. Hakuamini vile tulianza but anapenda vile na wakongea. Situko kazi mziki ni shamba pole na lori imejaza mbolea. Jina ni Bossman mimi ndio kusema bila makosa na wanyorea. Mimi mnyoka nyimte choka nyimkidhani nitalegea. Mr. Miyagi yaki ya nani hawa mafala wananidea. Sasa niko busy hadi attention yenye nadai siwezi wapea. Sasa tumecheki notorious ndio tumetoka ni ngori. Msifanye niwe famous mimi nasaka za pori. Tunafanya mysterious wameshindwa kunikopi. Kama ni mboga mtoshi nyinyi mmechocho na moshi. Nayo tukisonga ndani huonga makosa. Wanajua tukitokea bila kucheki maposta. Weka mikono kwa hewa kama ile ngoma ya Rosa. Mresha kidai kupewa nyorosha udishi utishadi sosa. Nayo tukisonga nayo tukizidi. Nayo ikamvile na kamsi ati nini au nini. Nayo tukisonga nayo tukizidi. Nayo ikamvile na kamsi ati nini au nini.
Yo, you don't want good for a nigga like me, being a G, since I was knee-high, caught from down on street lights. Moral jump for staying in vacuum, Zaza image called green card. Signing Christian teachings, preacher gives a trap kanisa. Squeezing cloudy, one for like who?
Yes, good afternoon, family. Karibuni sana. Hope you guys are doing amazing. 4 minutes past 2 p.m. right here in the 254. Welcome to another episode of the Pan-African Bliss Show right here on the media of the 21st century. My name is Joby. To the first-time listeners on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, and of course to everyone with me on the radio station, to those who shall be catching this on a replay on Spreaker and Spotify as well. Hope your week has been great and fantastic. Hope you're ready for the weekend as well. And of course, hope and wishing you a beautiful, beautiful Friday ahead of you as you tune in right here on the media of the 21st century. Today's conversation, we shall be focusing on something I promised yesterday at night, on how toxic farm chemicals are silently killing Kenyan farmers and struggling to say literally the whole of the African continent, because this is an agenda that they are pushing. If one African country is facing this, bet that the rest of the country are also going to also be affected in different ways, or in the same way, in the same manner. Karibuni sana once again. But before we get started, without wasting much more of the time, you watch on as a guest. I don't want to take much time here today on the conversation, but just get straight to it. I'd love to remind you, kindly download our app. Very easy for you to find on the Google Play Store. Black Hot Fire Network is the name. Once you have the app, you can get yourself have some amazing merchandise, hoodies, beanies, t-shirts, vests with our logo on it, and of course some amazing supplements on the like of multivitamin, the one we shared, beetroot, ashwagandha, moringa pure powder, literally moringa organic powder, sea moss, turmeric gummy bears, and so much more. Even skincare products, we got you covered. So ensure you have the app, sign in and check it out, and of course you can listen to us also via the radio station. But for now, let me share some amazing beetroot with you as we get started straight with the conversation of the
Beetroot,
day.
nature's powerhouse. Packed with vitamins, antioxidants and nitrates, it's known to support heart health, boost stamina and improve blood circulation. Our beetroot is naturally grown and harvested at peak ripeness. The roots are cleaned, dried and finely ground to preserve their rich nutrition content, giving you all the benefits in one pure form. Add 1 teaspoon of beetroot powder to your juice, smoothie or water, or take it in capsule form as recommended by your healthcare provider. Beetroot helps enhance endurance, lower blood pressure, and keep you feeling energized and balanced all day. Fuel your body with the natural power of beetroot. Stay strong, stay healthy. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
Nimezima, so check it, sijui ni majia nini. But anyway, karibuni sana once again. Yes, ensure you get that only for $23.90. Welcome back. Welcome back to today's conversation, and of course, hope you get to enjoy. We shall be sharing about the toxic pesticides, literally the toxic chemicals that are silently currently now killing most of the African farmers. This is not just happening in Kenya. The same documentary like we saw yesterday with the child sex trafficking, we know that is not only happening in Kenya. Other African countries are also affected. But just getting straight to it without wasting much more of the time, let me let the people talk as I explain what is happening.
Hiyo mashini juu
siendangi kwa kijiji kwa kiburi inakaanga kwa jua.
There's no way you can contaminate, you can poison a whole nation. It's a crime against humanity.
You have maize here, it has a pesticide in it, but if it gets into the pot and you start cooking it, actually the rise in temperature will help that chemical now to mix properly with the food.
While this product says it's supposed to be disposed of in a safe designated place, what is a safe designated place? Where is that safe designated place? Who tells the farmer where that safe designated place is?
Your land.
The board has never
Your land, your body, that is where the safe designated place is.
ever challenged what I have said. In fact, at some point they said I should be careful not to mention the company names. I mean the product names, because I might be sued. But it was bad. There was a time when I would get even death threats.
There is no way something is bad for the American farmer and bad for the European farmer, but now good for the Kenyan farmer.
This organization, from the CEO to the crack, everyone is supposed to be in jail.
If you can remember, I did also a whole show where we checked some of the banned pesticides that are not supposed to be operating in African countries or the African continent. And we saw, despite the ban, these pesticides or toxic chemicals have still paved their way to these farmers, and they're actually being forced. This one we've seen the I'd say new law being enforced on most of the African farmers to, of course, abandon their GMO foods, organic seeds, to adapt GMO seeds, and of course these other chemicals that are telling you need to spray on your food, which are very toxic and not also very good for your body when you consume the food, just like the guy has slightly explained it, the mixture of it. But this is what they want. This is the global agenda. This is part of what we've been talking about recently on the Africa Today show, even what Kamlesh was explaining yesterday regarding farming and what they're doing. So let me continue.
Drive to Timau town on a clear morning and you will think you have found paradise. Green farmlands stretch endlessly on both sides of the road. Golden wheat sways in the breeze, bright yellow canola flowers dance in the wind, and rows of perfect potatoes march towards Mount Kenya's majestic peaks. But beneath this postcard perfect landscape lies a terrifying secret. In the quiet village of Mbaria, families are dying. Not from accidents or old age, but from something far more sinister. The very chemicals meant to protect their crops are killing the people who grow our food. The numbers are staggering. Over 10 people have already died from cancer, and 5 more are fighting for their lives right now. In just 2 years, death has knocked on Lucy McKenna's door 3 times. First, her father-in-law, a tomato farmer who spent decades working the rich soils around Timau. At 85, he should have been enjoying his grandchildren. Instead, he was battling liver cancer that would eventually take his life.
Alianza kugonjeka, mwili wake ukabadilika, tukaenda hospitali wakati tulitumwa na daktari kwa physician. Na wakati alipelekwa kwa physician kuna vipimo aliambiwa akafanyiwe. Wakati alienda huko tulifanyiwa test mingi na picha mingi, kafanyiwe MRI na zote tukatoka ako na liver cancer, juu mwili wake ulikuwa umetani na akaanza kujikuna, haezi kula, haezi kaa, haezi lala. Wakati ugonjwa ulijulikana ilikuwa late. Na yeye mzee ndio alikuwa mzee wa miaka 85. Akalose hope, akaona kansa ni kama haiponi. Na yeye kulose hope, ugonjwa uliweza kuenda na yeye.
She's basically explaining how he got cancer and all that.
Na tulimsidikisha mwaka huu 2025 mwezi wa pili.
Then came Lucy's own father, Jeremiah Kinoti. For 30 years, he farmed onions, tomatoes, and potatoes while driving a matatu to make ends meet. The man, who had never shown any signs of diabetes in his family, suddenly couldn't control his blood sugar. His illness started slowly, with skin and eye irritation, headaches, dizziness, and nausea. At Kotolengo Mission Hospital, doctors diagnosed him with diabetes, a condition he battled for 15 years before it claimed his life. Now, her mother Rosalia is fighting breast cancer. Her uncle Francis, who is 77, can barely swallow food as throat cancer ravages his body. The pattern is unmistakable, and it is spreading through this farming community like wildfire. Rosalia explains how decades of chemical exposure finally caught up with her.
Nilipimba hii mkono mwezi wa 3 2024. Nikaenda hospitali, nikaambiwa nikatwe kanyama ifanyiwe testing. Ndio ikipelekwa, ikitokea ipimwe ionekane ni nini. Ikionekana niliambiwa niko na breast cancer. Hapo nikaanza matibabu.
Mwaka wa 2024 tarehe 11 bibi yangu akaanza kusikia mbaya. Kwa siku chache alikuwa ananiambia nasikia kifua nini kujikuna kutoka Nairobi
of a nervous system under assault.
Nikiamka asubuhi siwezi sika kitu kwa varindi. Kwa hii kucha inataka kama kung'oleka kutoka. Ndio niwaza ni
because of also touching the chemicals, the hands are now also affected. Not only are they getting cancer, different type of cancers, their hands are also getting affected in different ways.
Kiko najua mpaka iwe mzuri. na hii hata miguu mpaka hapa nashika moto usiku.
In the same village lives Charles Rutere, a man whose stumble might at first glance be mistaken for intoxication. For over 30 years, he was the village's go-to sprayer. In the days before mobile phones, families would send for him, and he would always show up armed with nothing but his clothes. No overalls, no gloves, no mask, no gumboots.
Exactly, which is also another problem, because I think this is lessons that should be very just. Again, that should come with critical thinking. If I'm maybe wrong, correct me, but I'm right. Critical thinking applies in this. When you're, of course, operating or touching chemicals, you do need safety. You need protection. You need to be having gloves. You need to be having these overalls. It's the same when you go to even spray these pesticides. I remember personally growing up, when I used to see my uncle spray pesticides, he used to wear like this certain type of, cover up to cover his face, his body, everywhere, gloves to the feet, so that these chemicals won't come, into your, they won't be able to touch it or come in hand with your body or touch your body, if I'm really making sense. But this is another problem, because our farmers are also not taught this. How would they be taught this while farming is actually being grabbed away from Africans themselves? So this education is barely even there. When you're handling farming, when you're handling these chemicals, what are the safety measures? What is the way you're supposed to protect yourself? Because you're not operating here with real manure, organic manure. This is chemicalized fertilizers and everything. So you need to protect yourself. But sadly, just like this young guy, he's saying, before he got sick, he used to go to people's farm with the same clothes, spray chemicals to the crops and all that, and sleep with the same clothes. So you can imagine what damage that does to your body, sleeping with clothes that are full of chemicals, and it's really crazy.
And now his body is paying the price.
Hii mikono kushika kitu sisikii, mguu kwenda kama msumari iko kwa miguu. Ikiwa kwa mkono ninaiona niko naye, lakini kwa mkono wangu haiko. Nitasikia moto kwa sababu itanichoma, lakini uchungu sina.
His problems started in 2012 after 30 years of spraying pesticides in people's farms.
Imagine 30 years and not even like you're not going with any safety measures. The worst part is that you're sleeping with the same clothes you're using to spray these chemicals on people's farm. Because I can imagine, and I've seen how farming operates, especially in African countries. And if you have such people who are good at this work, okay, maybe you might have started farming, you don't know how to control crops and all that. So there's always someone who is educated probably in the village and knows so much, and they're always the people to be given the jobs. So I believe this is what used to happen, because this is back then. And this story being brought is the years and ages of how people have been dying through these chemicals, and how it's been on the rise and not much communicated about until right now, that the number of deaths are increasing. So it's crazy. 30 years you've been farming, you've been a pesticides spraying guy on people's farm. And like I'm saying, in a day, you're not going to just one farm. Trust me. In Africa, understanding things very well, I think you can farm even in 3 farms. That is some good amount of money you can make in a day. Trust me. That's some good amount. If you go to 3 farms in a day in the village, you're going to pocket some good amount of money and you're good to go. Repeat that in a week, you're also good. But let me continue.
Rutere also recalls being instructed by farm owners on how to use the pesticide products, and often going to bed with the same clothes that he was working in.
Naenda kwa Agrovet, tunanunua ndawa. Unaambiwa weka miezi ngapi? Kama 2015.
Hello, Jibajaba, karibu sana. Good morning to you too. Good afternoon from my end, 20 minutes past 2 p.m. Hope your week has been great, and hope, of course, you're ready for the weekend. Feeling fantastic today, personally. I can't complain. Feeling better than yesterday, so that's why I can say fantastic. Of course, not fully back, but I feel literally way better than yesterday. Yeah, you can even you can tell from my voice.
Tunafuata vile tulie mwenye Agroveti kutusia ndio tutaendeshana naye, si ndio? Akiniambia ni 15 nitaweka mimi 15. Hakuna ilani.
And the agrovets also themselves are not taught anything. Like these agrovets we have in Africa, it's not like they know anything. These people also just have shops set up just because they want to run a business and they know that this is going to pick up because farmers are dependent on these supplements or requirements or chemicals. So of course I'm going to run this shop. I know nothing. I'm going to tell them what they need to hear according to what is written on the paper, of course, what white people have written, and that's what we're going to go with.
Charles now realizes the connection between his condition and decades of chemical exposure, but the damage is
hata wanisikiangi iko wakati mimi napiga ile inaitwa concrete mixture hii kokoto.
Yeah, let us know what he's saying.
Kwa kiburi inakaanga kwa jua hakuna joto.
Yeah, so he says since he got cancer, for him the only way he's been able to stay for long is by staying under the sun. He says he never stays under the shadow. He is always under the sun. That is the way he's been able to still keep on going with the cancer disease he has.
It's about melanin, Terry Masana, it's about melanin generated in cells. These melanin, so like I said, sun is African people, you're charged by the sun. You never taught none of this, you taught nonsense with the big Jesus and your Allah. Never taught your ancient African tradition about sun gazing and staying in the sun. That's trying to help the genetics recreate themselves. And as cancer, what you need to do also, if you're going to do cancer, you need to fast. You learn to fast at least a week, 72 hours a week, those cancer cells will all die. As an African, those cancers will all die. You would generate new cells, new healthy cells. Don't eat nothing for a week. Just drink water. Fast. You used to know that, but they put in all your African traditions, put in fake religions. Fast. Don't eat. All your cancer cells will die, and your body will generate new cells. Don't eat nothing for a week. Nothing. Let those cells die, and your body will generate all healthy cells. Go ahead, George.
If I wish I had this information, I'll be having my mommy right now. I'll be going every weekend. I'll be having my mom literally, but sadly, Africans, we don't have this information. This is why you see even the people being actually interviewed right here. All of them, they're talking about how I started medication and I went to chemotherapy.
That's what kills you. When you start doing the chemo, you can't kill poison with poison. Your cells, when you get cancer, your cells are telling you there's a problem. Cancer doesn't kill you. You not understand how to treat it. That's your body going into shock that something is wrong, something is going on. That's why you see chemotherapy doesn't work. It ain't funny. It charge all this money to just kill you because white people medicine don't work. Except by the Rockefellers.
I didn't know much, but I knew something was not okay because if something is helping you, why is it even making you shed off your hair?
Yeah, exactly.
That really hit me, man. That was, I think, the craziest. You ever been hit by, for real, someone is really, really going, you see someone dying?
Of course. Because what it does, chemotherapy is killing them. Exactly, Joe. You see them being poisoned, and you talk about that's supposed to be a cure to help them. No, you're going to die.
It really didn't make sense because that morning I remember I literally had to skip school, borrow permission to skip school so I can take my mom to the hospital because she had no one to take her to the hospital. So she's trying to, like combine her hair together, like, combine it together. And my mom had the most beautiful hair. I mean, African women have beautiful hair, but I'm still going to give props to my mom. Okay. She's mom. She had really a beautiful and soft natural hair. So she's trying to look together. It's all falling off. Oh my god. I really cried. We both cried. I'm like, what the hell is
But they
happening?
told her she's because of the chemo. She's fucking poisoning the body. Kill poison. It's chemo. To radiate the body.
She started telling me, don't cry, it's meant to happen. Once I started
Yeah.
the chemo, it was supposed to happen, but I didn't want to tell you soon. She was always trying to hide everything from me, not to discover. And I'm like, what the hell, man? Because I really went to the hospital broken, and that was the first time to me going now to Kenyatta National Hospital, seeing how patients are just all over, not being treated on time. Nurses are just idle, just gossiping, drinking tea. Doctors, you must bribe them before you go to the. It's really, really messed up.
Right.
But on what
That's a system. So you walked into a broken system, Joe, that was set up by these morons. You had a broken system that never was meant to work.
It's true. But what we're talking about is what I promised I'm going to share today. Of course, was also one of the trending conversations. We've seen Kenya being hit so hard by, of course, I remember when Ruto especially became a president, he was pushing so hard for us to stop practicing farming our indigenous seeds and them introducing GMO food. We saw Raila pushing this, also slightly refusing this. Some of the official members also say this is wrong because it's going to kill us. Others said death is supposed to happen anyway, so we must die. So what if we eat GMOs? And it's, of course, we knew. I think there's a time, one of the shows I did a whole show and checking on how many African countries and which pesticide, toxic chemicals to be specific, that are used on agriculture that are banned. And we saw it's actually so many chemicals, but these chemicals
But
still
all of them.
paved their way in so many African countries and are still
Of course.
even being used.
All
So
African countries are controlled by them, controlled by the enemy, Joe. There's no free black African country. They're all controlled by the enemy, Joe.
True. So that is exactly what is happening. Of course, this is not just in Kenya. Do bet this is happening in Nigeria. This is happening in Benin, in Malawi, in Zambia,
Yes.
South Africa. It's affecting every African person. Again, we talk about hunger every single time as a continent with so much arable land. And then you see this is happening even with the smallest percentage of the land that we have. They still also want to destroy it. I mean, talk about that.
Of course.
We have 60% untouched arable land, and then we have the little we have that we want to still sustain our lives, eat well, eat good food. They still want to destroy that, and you still want to talk, and you still want to defend a white man's history. I don't know if you saw the videos I sent you on TikTok, Keith.
Did you see it? No, I didn't see him. What happened?
This bunch of videos I sent you yesterday. I think I was sleeping at one, even when you were texting me about whose birthday is next. I was still on. So I was like, watching TikTok videos. I was like, I'm not gonna leave TikTok to reply right now. There's so many informative videos. And then you see these black Americans out there going crazy talking about this nonsense, of food. We don't have food, whatever. It's crazy. It's crazy. And we need to change our mindset. But let me continue as you explain further, because what has the Kenyan government done about this? Of course, nothing. This is an agenda being pushed globally. We've seen the purchase of lands of Bill Gates, which is a very big percentage of land. And this is all about control of food. We've seen recently now, just like what we were talking about yesterday, them talking about lab-made foods. Some of the states, countries have banned this, but it's still gonna be pushed forward. GMOs have been banned, but they're still pushing this. The same way we see with the LGBTQ bullshit. Some countries are banning it, but they still wanna push it because understanding you're still under their fake system, escaping this. One way or another, you'll still fall under their agenda.
Not without coup, you overthrow your whole. The Africans got to have enough common sense to wake up. All your leaders, all your leaders are bought and paid for. They do not represent you. You must learn that. And to learn that, you must get rid of this tribal. Shout out to the young Africans saying it online. You must get rid of this tribal nonsense. You must get rid of it. because you keep telling, he's my tribe. That's my tribe. I'm a Yoruba. I'm a Southern African. I don't use African, be laughing. So you're so worried about being a tribal instead of being an African. Your identity is African, not your tribe. You better learn that.
I
Good,
want to
Joe.
wonder when you're on these TikTok panels or whatever. Call,
Oh, you went on one? You went on one?
Yeah, let me know. Just let me know, okay? I want to hear, because I also bumped into a Kenyan who was saying about how she went into one of these TikTok, the Black American and African argument, and she was the Black Americans attacked her. They said she was attacked because of just speaking facts.
Of course, because she probably went one of them crazy FBA panels. Them FBA panels are crazy with morons, Joby. Morons.
I want to be on those. If you're gonna be on this TikTok, I'm gonna be in all of them, and also especially regarding tribalism. If you're gonna bump into any talking about culture, this culture BS, just invite me, because being honest, I feel like tribalism is a conversation you're not ready to have in Africa. I'm starting to understand this. Actually, we're really way still far from dealing with tribalism. Being honest, like being brutally honest. Is so much information popping politically about what is happening in Kenya, and people are still easy to control. People are still easy to be manipulated, and it's because of the situations, of course, the desperate situations that you want to solve so bad. So they're gonna use your desperate, desires and give you the hope you need for the time that is the time being, give you $100, whatever. That is what is happening currently in most of the African countries. There's these games going on currently in East Africa. Museveni, Samia Suluhu, and Ruto have said they're going to be paying people $1 million each for the games they win. And understand, entertainment is another form of control of the mind. So people now, everyone is so moved on this soccer. Yes, no one is talking about politics. So politically, there's other things going on. Which
remember, sports are a major distraction. That's what they use.
Yeah, which are causing tribal feuds. But the rest of the East Africa is talking, including DRC, because we had a DRC Kenya match on Sunday, which was actually amazing. I was watching it and I enjoyed it, being honest. But you look at it, you understand. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, you're supposed to be honest, but see, but you understand that what it's used was a distraction. Most people watching don't understand what it's used for. To keep your mind off the politics is a distraction, so you'll be worried about who winning, my team winning. Yeah. So of course you can be of the matrix and not be a part of the matrix, Job. You understand what's going on?
I agree. So I don't know if tribalism is a topic people are ready to lose, but if on one of those topics, kindly invite me. John Mosquito wants me. He says, Joby, don't get involved in the diaspora nuclear war. Actually, let me tell you. So this something what this is something, and I know about myself, all right? Listen, this is something my male friends wrote, tell me, and men are very honest. It's not like women, we lie to each other, right? Men are very honest. Unless a man wants to lie to you, that's the only time he's lying to you. I'm sorry to say, put it like that, but unless a man wants to sleep with you, that's the only time he can find words to lie to you. But men are very honest. So I've had my male friends tell me I'm very raw. So if I get on this, I've been told that if I get on this TikTok, whatever, is actually gonna so much attention.
I think you do good. I think you do. I think you do good. I told you going on live streams, you'll circumvent a lot of the shadow banning. And people say, who's this person? Who's this person? Black Eyed Fire Radio. Who the hell is this?
Knowing myself, I know that of course is going. Actually, I don't even need to use the Black Hot Fire TikTok. I can use mine, because on TikTok, so long as you invite me on a live and you accept, I can join, even if I don't have 1,000 followers. So long as you've accepted me joining, I've been doing that on some just nonsensical TikTok.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, Joe, did I lose?
Can you hear me, kid?
Okay, now there you go. Yeah, somehow you disappeared.
I'm willing to get on them. It's just that I'm very raw. That's the only problem. I don't know how to filter too. I'm like you. I think I'm like you. I just don't know how to filter a lot of things, and especially when mad. I'll
I'm like you.
I'm just being honest, I've discovered that, I'm raw in my own version, and that is not something
All
most of the
right. That
like.
nigga should get. That nigga should go to thick. If you ready for the armor, you got thick skin, Joby. You need to
I
go on
know,
some of them paddles then.
I know. The thick skin is there already. Don't worry. But
All
yes,
right. Okay.
I don't know if they are ready for the fire. But let me continue.
Nancy Wambugu has been the village's female sprayer and casual laborer for 35 years, driven by poverty into work that would slowly destroy her health.
Mimi nimeanza kulima
Driven by
miaka
poverty.
35
And
leo.
this is the Africa you see. And look, Africans don't know your poverty is on purpose, and it is that's what I'm looking for. It's on purpose, and it's done. You never were impoverished people. So you can be in Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria, whatever country you see Africans impoverished. Okay, your poverty was implemented on you. Your poverty is unnatural. You were implemented and put in poverty. But sadly enough, as Africans, the other guy said you're not kind. I say you're kind and loving. The other guy said you're not kind and loving. How you treat each other. Africans are kind and loving. It just also they've been taught to hate each other. But your kind and loving natures kept you in this poverty. Because most people say, hey, how am I poor? What the hell's going on? Anyway, go ahead.
Natumia ile dawa ya kukausha nyanzi, ninatumia dawa hata ya kuhera ikwashe viazi. Sasa hiyo madawa yote wakati
because like I was saying, let me just fast forward it very quickly. From what she's saying, it's sad because the fact that the same famine we're fighting about is the same knowledge that has been snatched away from us. And I'm speaking about the knowledge being snatched away from us. I said growing up, we've been taught I participated in planting trees. This is something that is not active today in schools. Agriculture, I believe somewhat was part of education too, where people were taught, this is how you plant beans, this is how you plant maize.
But that was actually that was actually natural for Africans. I don't know if you
Exactly.
I don't know if you taught it in school. You taught that's part of the African culture because the Africans Africans didn't have starving until everything these happened when the Europeans came and conquered Africa. There was no starvation in no Africa and all this crazy shit.
This is what I'm saying. It was in school. I think now, after of course the colonization, some parts of I don't know. I'm not sure of the information, but I do believe it was there because in some schools, how we used to do. Personally, I remember our homework. We used to be given homework of you bring maize. You're told your homework is go bring a cup of maize, and if you're told 50 of you bring a cup of maize, and this is grown in the school produces its own food, so you're not dependent on any government to help you or fund you with food. So also it used to be maize, beans, and then I don't know how that disappeared. Now schools started being funded with now these GMO foods. That is how the transition of schools providing themselves with food or funding themselves changed.
When they passed this out, white people made the Kenyans and African ones pass laws like Cameron said, where you can't keep your seeds, you can't share them because they're trying to lock down destroy your land. That also make you pay them for seeds. It's another scam, and no one in their right mind would ever pass legislation to not be able to have seeds and grow seed, have your own free seeds and grow them in your own land. No person in their right mind would ever pass some shit like that. But these moronic ass puppets in Africa, poverty, they gonna give me a bribe and I'm gonna destroy my whole country. Yay, I'm stupid. Yay.
I wanted to ask, because of what we're doing, I don't know. Maybe you can ask Dimore, do the farmers operating have any safety measures they use? Because I'm talking about safety measures is having gloves on when you're handling certain types of chemicals. This is what is causing these cancer diseases because most of these people don't even wear gloves when handling the chemicals. They
They,
don't wear.
they never, they never been educated. They don't. Remember,
It's,
remember.
yeah, that's
Another truth. There was no cancer in Africa till the European came. Everything he does is death and destruction and criminality. There was no cancer. So everything he does is always unnatural. You didn't need to use chemicals and herbicides and pesticides in Africa to have abundance of growth. You didn't need that. So why are you doing it now? Why have you decided? Because you are mentally colonized in the head. Ain't there a white man said it's good? And the white daddy told me. White daddy said I must do this, so I do it. White daddy said I do, so I do. Thank you, white daddy. Hey, white daddy. The white daddy said do it.
People who sell these chemicals. Fides Kairuthi, an agrovet shop owner, has observed that farmers often don't read instructions properly,
No,
either
you,
due to
they
illiteracy
they
or
don't
because
exactly.
the
They
text is
don't know.
and
I
also
said that.
farmers, because this is why I go back to what I've been talking about. I don't even understand if people take this seriously. People are in sections or in areas that they're not supposed to be in terms of work. And I'm talking about this realistically. People in certain areas because of just trying to make a living and money. When you talk about agrovets, I grew up with real agrovets. As a matter of fact, as a child, you couldn't be sent to an agrovet. But today, children can be sent to an agrovet, be told, go get this and this and this. How do you know the real one and the original one? Because there's fake chemicals and fake whatevers. So many.
Fake fertilizer.
Once you send a child and then you get a very desperate, money-minded type of a person who doesn't give a shit about your farm, they give you the product to make more money. And then this is the same thing we saw with the fertilizer.
That's fertilizer. Like I said, that's fertilizer.
And it's the same agrovets. Oh, you go to the agro, I need fertilizer. And then you ask yourself, why is the fertilizer not working? Are you crazy? What is wrong with us African people? This is insane. It's not even about yes, the farmers do have a problem of not following the instruction, but it goes back to the agrovet. Did you give the farmer the right also directions? Because from the agrovet, I do believe I'm also supposed to be told, hey, this is how it's supposed to be used. Don't overdo this. This is the amount you're supposed to pour. I grew up with all that information personally. I've grown up watching farming. So this is all about system failure, bad governance, which has led to all this. And of course, how the system is
Of course, and also, also keeping your population ignorant, not asking. So you're asking these questions. You got Africans that are ignorant, that are scared, and told that asking questions is bad. You're supposed to ask questions. You know what the hell you're doing, and you're supposed to be educated on things.
It's too small. Most have no protective gear and ignore the need to bathe after using.
These people don't have gloves. They don't have the Google glasses. They don't have the respirator. They don't have the long pants. These people majority are operating with shorts of their boxers on.
The Google glass. You mean the goggles?
Oh, the goggles. Yeah, the goggles. Okay, yeah, and the rubber boots. These people don't have rubber boots. They're operating on barefoot. Talk about the head protection. They don't have head protection. They believe the hair, the afro, which the Black American Sam told you don't have protecting them.
The chemicals.
Sasa ukiambia mkulima apime kama 10 mils, unakuta mkulima anatumia hata 50 mils kwa sababu bado hajasoma na anataka itoe vizuri venye wameambiwa itatoa vizuri.
Even Fides, who sells these chemicals, has experienced their harmful effects firsthand.
Mimi mwenyewe naziuza, saa zingine zinaniathiri kwa sababu
I've worked in a chemical seeds company. I've said that before, right?
Yeah, I remember.
2019.
They pay you like $1 a day to do crazy shit.
Yeah, and it was really, really toxic. Trust me, I really wanted the money. But when you understand your health is in danger, your health is more important than the money. And that's what I figured out very quickly. Yes, you're given the money. Say the mask, because that was even before the pandemic, being told wear the mask. But at that work, we were being told to wear those masks. But you can still breathe in the chemicals. the moment I was leaving work, every day I was having crazy headaches, crazy headaches. And I can tell this is not because I'm not hydrating. This is not because of nothing.
Because it's toxic. I agree.
Chemicals. I can feel it's the chemicals. I'm literally breathing in chemicals. So I
Yeah.
told the people, I went and told because it was my cousin's wife who had gotten the job for me. So you go tell your people I'm quitting. I can't do this anymore. So yeah, the money was really good for a day, but not good for my health. So I'm gonna quit. And that's why I left the job literally.
Kujikuna, so hata nikiuza ndawa saa zingine na tafuta mahali naweza toka kidogo ndio niache niweze kupumua vizuri.
Yeah, because you don't breathe. That is exactly what she's saying. Like when you're handling those seeds, those chemicals, you can't breathe because the air is full of just nothing but chemicals, especially when you're in a shop which is enclosed. It's just chemicals, you're smelling nothing but just chemicals, so it is bad.
Wakati nilikuwa na mimba ya mtoto wangu mdogo.
Who since February runs the Divine Wellness and Resource Center at the Village Shopping Center. Here, she creates awareness about the dangers of pesticide exposure, promotes organic farming, and provides detoxification services for those who are already affected. She also offers counseling to those in need.
The reason as to why I set up this place is because in my home area, I realized that people are having very serious issues. 1 minute you come, you meet someone, she's not so bad. The next time you come around, they've passed on. Every time you come and interact with them and ask them how they've been doing, they are always telling you they are coming from a barrio, from the neighborhood.
Priska explains that she has observed many chronic conditions reported in the village, creating a pattern that points directly to chemical exposure.
It's not because as this happens, we have some Kenyans in the northern parts of Kenya, just like I think if you can remember, I showed you, people are fighting for their lands. This is because of leave alone Isiolo. This is another area where there's nothing but full of it's a green, full, just a fertile land, and they want to take all these acres for carbon emission BS. And this is lands that belong to people.
Of course, and that's why I think the UN's coming. So then you talk about this fake carbon emission nonsense, but they take the land and starve you. But so Africans grab a backbone in the spine, okay? You're being controlled and globally. You've been controlled by a small minority and you won't fight. You better get off your ass and start fighting because they plan to recolonize and take everything from you again. You sitting there crying and all that old shit. You see Ghana and Kenya, things about all that old shit. That's not gonna work. You're gonna put a backbone in your spine, right? And you're gonna have to start fighting for what's yours and fighting for what's right. Can't nobody take your land because somebody tell you some goofy climate change. And then you get some moronic ass idiot that's part of your politicians telling you the same nonsense. You gotta get rid of them too.
I'll find the video and check with you guys. It was from Lynn Ngugi. Shout out to her. She had to go on the ground and investigate the people, ask them do you know what carbon emission is? And most of these people are being told, man, if you hear the answers these people are speaking about, they think it's some sort of aeroplane, they think it's some sort of these people don't even know what the air carbon emission. They're saying it's air. There's some of them are saying it's just some nonsensical answers. They don't know what's happening.
Because they kept them ignorant, Joby. That's the problem. Africans have been kept ignorant, Joby.
And then
ignorant.
You're gonna be paid $200 to $20 or
you're gonna be paid shit.
Or $2. Someone else said $2. They told you they're gonna pay you $2 for leasing your land for 40 years.
$2.
40 years leasing your land for carbon emission. They're gonna pay you $2 every day. That is, I think, what he said. This is crazy.
Slowly chipping. Kiunjuri, who has battled Parkinson's disease since 1994. A carpenter and plumber by profession, Kiunjuri's first contact with pesticides was at a farm that produced vegetables, French beans, and green peas on a large scale.
Mimi nilikuwa plumber. Kwa hivyo nilikuwa nikiwekwa hizi tunaitaga mfereji ya kupeleka maji kwa mimea.
That's why you heard that lady on Iraton show last Friday said they don't use pesticides and herbicides. Because in Africa you never had to use it. That was backed by your white people who forced you to do it because you're stupid. Okay? Your moronic ass leaders, your boys and your Jomos, these are morons. They were morons while they got their little fake library. These are dummies that they put in charge of Africa to sell their fake pesticides and herbicides. This destroys your land. That's why Europe and America's lands are destroyed. You had the best land because your land was all organic. If God gives you something, why would you think you're supposed to change it with garbage? Critically think, but you haven't been taught to critically think. You've been continuously made ignorant. That's why this man's all fucked up with Parkinson. Sadly enough, he couldn't critically think in his mind like you said. Hey, maybe this shit might not be dangerous, but I'm sure he got white worship. What the white man told me is good. I seen a white man with a coat on. He said, "Hey, dumb nigga, this is great." I said, "Yes, white man, you are my daddy." Yes.
John's story highlights a growing scientific consensus about the dangers of pesticides. A study published in Nature Communications in May 2023 by researchers from UCLA Health and Harvard found that 10 specific pesticide ingredients, including dicophol and
UCLA guys, you guys know UCLA. See, that's why you got to do your own studies. These are all white. UCLA is a university of, you guys know, California, Los Angeles, and Harvard's over across the country in Boston. Africans, you should have been to your own study. Why are you always waiting for white people bring you shit and you don't never have no science, no research and development of your own to study when somebody's bringing you somewhere whether it's good or not? That's why you got the AIDS in Africa right now. When you keep doing the VACCINEs, you won't never research shit. And then finally, white people tell me it's bad. Oh, okay, now it's bad.
We need to understand these pesticides. We checked, if you can remember, I did this show, Kate. We checked the pesticides banned. Mostly it's actually Europe. Europe doesn't use most of these pesticides.
Of course not. Except for Africa, because the Africans are morons.
America, I don't like. In the whole conclusion was all these pesticides have to end up in Africa. That was the conclusion of this banned pesticide. So which this young guy is saying, I'm gonna fast forward it and allow him to talk before I come to the end. He was on as a guest, so I don't want to take much time here.
Executive officer of the Pest Control Products
Board. So is the guest in the studio or is it on StreamYard?
Virtual.
Country from the Kenya, Tanzania, and the Kenya-Uganda border.
Virtual.
Okay, shouldn't care. They feel their way. Go ahead.
Environmental rights advocate Calvin Kobai weighs in on the matter.
There is no law that prohibits one from living downstream. And with people who live in downstream, they've been nearly condemned to death. More often we've tried to blame farmers.
These containers end up in the wrong places.
Shockingly, we found these containers just meters away from water sources,
from
rivers.
I know water.
Many times I meet these trucks from the city, from the city council of Nairobi, collecting garbage. More often than not, you will never find any such container transversing our villages collecting these sachets and containers, which is foreseeable by these manufacturers and producers, which is a duty squarely on their shoulders as per Articles 46 of our Constitution on the Consumer Protection and Articles 42, 69 and 70 of our Constitution.
That shit don't mean nothing. They bribe you more.
However, the PCPB CEO says it is the job of NEMA and county governments, together with the board, to identify places where farmers can drop off empty pesticide containers for collection and disposal.
The Agrochemicals Association of Kenya is supposed to meet the cost of disposal, and they have been doing it.
what is it supposed to change? What is it supposed to change? Collecting water. This is just some BS of defending themselves of what they have been incapable of controlling, which is controlling the import.
You're not gonna, you shouldn't even brought it in your country because I hate to say Africa can't even deal with its trash problem. You got trash all around African cities, and you ain't even deal with that. So why would you bring pesticides and other shit, and you're not capable of even getting the garbage collected properly?
Exactly. It is so crazy, but that is what is happening. I'm gonna share the rest of the video, family, with you on the WhatsApp just to respect time. Kid says, "Who cares? We do care about time." If the interview was set on time, you can't just disrespect someone who spared their time.
I'm not joking. I'm not disrespecting much. I thought you just started. Shit, I just got here. Shit.
We are on. You came in late. I'm sorry. I thought you was. I thought you told me you're gonna be up early today.
I thought I was gonna get up early. I went back to. I looked at the time, then I fell back to sleep. And I woke up late, and I'm like, God. Then I stopped at that you guys call the petrol station. We call it a gas station, and the damn pumps didn't work. I'm like, God, I'm getting bit by mosquitoes in Louisiana. Bite my ass up early in the morning. I couldn't get no gas. I gotta stop over here and get more gas. Shit.
Yeah, well, are you somewhere in Nigeria where the pumps are not working? What's happening?
He's like the pump. I said, man, the pumps don't work. What's going on? He said, yeah, they don't work. Nothing we can do about it. I'm like, what? Shit. God damn it. Damn mosquitoes bite my ass up. Pumps don't work.
That's today's conversation, family, right there. And I'm sorry I couldn't share the end of it, but it's very informative. I'm gonna share it on WhatsApp and understand literally the pesticides, the chemicals killing people, because right now cancer rates in Africa are being caused by different things, and the majority of it is the food we're consuming. They're trying as much as they can to target our food. The market personally, every Saturday I've normalized it going to get groceries, because I always take like a week grocery, like tomatoes, onions, the what are they called, the garlic.
You wash up your vegetables, right?
Of course, but what I've noticed now to understand the GMOs. Our onions are always like there's a medium type of onion. So, but these big chunks of onions and tomatoes, those are GMOs. So if you go to the market, you find them in like you're these are good tomatoes. You're gonna find like one vendor who has like really beautiful tomatoes, and they're all big. So you'll be easily convinced that they are, good. But you go ahead, you find out that people have like really nice small tomatoes and really looking healthy. Like, can tell by just looking at it, like this is some healthy tomatoes. So that's something I've also noticed when I'm doing like my grocery shoppings and the studio as well. But I see Juba Jaba on the building says this is a good topic. Thank you. I'm grateful and glad that you've literally enjoyed. He also says I'm certified in pesticide and herbicide. You have to wear separate PPE, personal protection equipment, gloves, boots. That's what was indicated, but they barely do this. They barely follow these protocols because I don't know, not taught. Critical thinking also applies.
Other than that, taught.
You're supposed to have critical thinking to understand you're handling chemicals and protect yourself. Even personally, when I'm handling some chemicals, I need to use some gloves. I have like extra gloves for disposing some things or using some things. So why would you just want to touch chemicals directly? That means
exactly. I would gloves even when you got to wash like an old person's ass. Gloves, damn it.
And also, Abba says, come on, kid, you gotta pray to Jesus to cure cancer. Yes, you do.
I know. Hey, that's what they do. Ain't it funny? They be with ear time praying to Jesus, and then 3 days later they're dead and stinking. It don't never work. Ain't it funny? It don't never work because it don't work because it's exactly. Hey, fast. You got cancer, guys. Fast. Don't eat any. You better get this one. Don't eat anything for a week. You won't die. Don't eat nothing for a week.
it's very cheap. If I can't even measure the amount of money we spent on my mom's cancer treatment. I can't literally even, but it was a lot. This is some amount of money.
That's why they do it, because it's money's never to help you. It's to pay for you to get on out of here. Go ahead, Joe.
I remember she had saved some money because before sickness got serious, she wanted to get me a land and my brother. She was like, in case of anything, I want to get you and your brother like a place you can go and call home just in case.
Just in case.
Calls home. But because of the sickness getting sick, she had to withdraw the money from the bank and use it all for the hospital bills.
Of course. And sadly, and this will happen when you don't know anything. Nobody's mom was young and didn't know anything, and that's another scary thing. You're young, you don't know anything, and she was scared, and she's listening to people getting all these white treatments, and I know her mama trusted white people because they told her the chemo and do this. Okay,
being honest, I really think so. I wish I knew my mom's mentality and how she was reasoning. Being honest, when it came to being colonized, that's a good topic with her, because I've never after I met my dad's side, that's the only time I felt like I'm being told, being melanin, I'm supposed to go to this other race. But there's no day where I had to ever with my mom feel like I was never good enough or I had to please white people. I never even heard her talk about white people. I never heard her talking about she's interested in white people.
I'm gonna say she's interested, but I know she probably trusted them, trusted their science, because she trusted their science and didn't understand that she had no clue that was ensuring her death. Even though there's no such thing as death, guys. Joey's mom is back on the planet, because I know she know how to get out of there. She's back on the planet somewhere. Hopefully she wasn't born by a moron. hopefully her mom is not back on the planet raised by morons. So her mom is the energy, huh?
My mom was smart. She's not bad.
No, your mom's back on. No, your mom's back on this planet. Hate to tell you, my mom's. She didn't know how to get out of here. She's back on this planet. Like my mom's back on this planet somewhere. Your mom is either in Brazil, Colombia, Jamaica, America, or some African country. And that's just a fact, Jack. That's just a fact. Shout out to AI who said that dude is AI on TikTok. Yeah, there's no such thing as death, like I told you. AI said, no such thing as death. Your body is just a shell to hold your soul. So if you don't know how to get out of here, you're coming back. That's just a fact. And shout out to the little boy, the lady. I'm gonna share a bit with Joby. Is a little boy who didn't talk, and he's an American. His mom was concerned, right? And so one day they got into an Uber, and the little boy, he was like a year and a half, and the Uber driver was Nigerian from a certain tribe. And the little boy started talking in that man's language to the driver. And the mom was effed up in the head. The black mom said, and the driver started laughing. And then the driver turned to the mom, said, hey, are you guys Nigerian? He said, Nigerian? No, I've never been in my life. He said, your son, I think it was Igbo, or might have been Yoruba, I'm not sure, but one of those Nigerian languages. He said, your son is speaking Igbo to me. And she was like, what? Yes, fluently. And so he started laughing.
As I wind up, what turns
as we wind up.
What guests are included, so ensure you tune in.
Okay. I said they was on StreamYard.
No, Iwaton always brings guests, whether virtual or physical. So she's not going to whether they're virtual or physical. So I said it was virtual.
Oh, you didn't even know, your slick ass.
I was not given the right information. That's why.
But anyway, Joey's mom probably in South Africa. Wouldn't that be funny? But if Joey went up, yeah. And when Joby met some girl, when she finally goes to South Africa, and it'd be her mama, that shit would be hilarious. She wouldn't even know it though. That'd be funny as shit.
Shout to John Mosquito. Joby, don't get involved in the diaspora nuclear war. I will. I'm so ready to pop it up. I also see says that Russia has developed that job that kills cancer cells. Have you heard? We'll discuss that later tonight, not right now. John Mosquito says, I joined one of those live debates on TikTok and the Nigerians to kill me. Damn, crazy.
Oh, hold on. You did, Jim Mosquito? Jim Mosquito, you don't even call in here, join nothing. Jim Mosquito, you tell us why you didn't share it on WhatsApp, Gino, so I can join you. Damn. He said about to kill his ass.
John says my Mr. Bad experience with everybody Kamlish was definitely right. I agree, brother. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna report you. Just stepped outside. He's coming back, and I'm about to tell him what you said. I also see Jabba says my high school was mostly white. They had a future. They had a future of Americans Club for students to learn planting and animal care. Exactly, that education was there. Trust me. Personally, when I was young, I did at some point experience some farming education because when I caught it up, and understanding what I was doing, it was now with tree farming. This is the time Wangari Maathai was advocating for, environment and everything. And then that's when they were also trying to get rid of and everything. So, and that's education today is completely gone. That's why you see them support. You can see the deforestation in Kenya currently, how active it is. So it tells you a lot of how the whole has been.
And deforestation destroys the soil.
And G says as a reminder, and follow the MCD's material safety data sheet of those chemicals. John Mosquito says, even myself, I had to go on a whole 5 day, on a whole course 5 year ago just to learn how to use and work with chemicals. That's how dangerous those chemicals are, and that is amazing. Also, Mosquito says, yes, Joby, just using cleaning chemicals around the home can be dangerous in terms of not mixing chemicals together, making sure they are adequate. That is one thing I do. Trust me, when washing my dishes, I always equate my chemicals. People always think I'm crazy. I'll use some Vim, whatever for my dishes. I don't care. I'm not using some just chemicals. I don't know how they're gonna. And I'm also sensitive with some detergents. My hands are
it's all chemicals, Joe.
I can't touch some detergents just like that. But shout out to Danny. Harrison was also saying that is crazy. And Trovon has been with me on the chat. That's why we're coming to the end. I hope you guys have yourselves a beautiful rest part of your morning.
Family.
It's past 3 p.m. I hope you also enjoyed this conversation and you learned something out of it. To those who shall be catching this on a replay for the first time and to the late viewers.
Hey, Jenna Mosquito, the next time you're in a chat room, tell somebody so we can go ahead and at least give some backup. Sorry you got beat up. You should have told them you had a Nigerian girlfriend and they want to beat you up so bad.
Oh my goodness. But when they're trying to attack me, just call me. Just holler at Joby. You know what I'm gonna do. Just holler at Joby. Just so long as you're paying for that plane ticket, because I'm not coming back on the streets of Europe. So please.
No, he was arguing on the panel, Joby. He's on the panel.
Wherever they want to meet you physically, call me. I'm gonna appear.
I'm sure they're probably in Nigeria, Joby. He just got on the panel.
You let them come, tell them to pop. Nigerians are always ready to pop, so call Nigerians out. Come on.